Hey there, how we all doing today? As you can see by the watches in front of you here, we're going to be taking a look at two Orises today. These are based on their all-time classic, the Big Crown Pointer Date. Now I tried to get all of these in the model, but only the blue and the purple came out and came here. And I was like, instead of waiting around for the yellow one, which I hear is probably one of their more popular of all the colors, surprisingly yellow, it's kind of on back order. So right now we got the purple and we got the blue. Both are beautiful. The purple, blue, and yellow are really popular for Oris right now with these big crown pointer dates. Big crown pointer dates are pretty much one of the oldest designs that we see continuously on Oris. Now, the big crown pointer date has kind of got that old school vibe with the dial. Here's the new band I'm showing you on it, rolling it around a little bit. Um, it's actually a really modern looking band for especially for a watch like this, and I kind of like what they did with everything. You know, when I saw it in the photos and stuff, I thought, oh man, this is cool, but I kind of have to see it in person. And seeing it in person, they're a nice watch. I mean, they're a good price point for Oris. Is kind of like that introductory level that they've got, because some of them, you know, of course, like all watch companies, you know, have gone up, and this one they kind of kept at a good price point. So if you're kind of into Oris, you like the big crown look. I love it because the big crown looks
You had one in
different
the
than
you,
a
you
lot out
you
there.
had one in the storage that I took it for the frame
Just a
shop. I was like, oh, this is
traditional
pretty cool. So that
Lilac
you had one in
dial.
the I know you had one in the storage shed, so I took it from the
Now,
frame
in a
shop.
way, this modern version of it feels more modern than the new 65 that came out earlier, and I think it's because of the band. The band is a really cool band. Um, you know, the Big Crown, the design of the face and everything started in 1938, and then they've kind of been rolling with it ever since then. And Oris has always been, you know, an automatic movement. Um, these models have, you know, the red rotor on the back with the display backs as well. Here you could see we're taking a look at the different sides of the model, see how, you know, thin they are, and the watch is around 40 millimeters. It's an H-link bracelet and a special clasp that, you know, Oris kind of developed with it. So because I wanted to show you all the different colors, we only got the blue and purple, like I said. But so this video, we're going to show you the blue and the purple because essentially they're the same watch with just different colorways. And then, you know, I don't know if I'll do a video when the yellow comes in or not, but at least this way you kind of get an idea how it feels. I'll put both of them on the wrist so you can see it. It feels like a smaller watch, definitely. So this one kind of goes well with, you know, like a suit. It looks a little more dressy. It's easy to read because of the large numbers. And then I always like the way the Big Crown has that date function, the date that goes all the way around the dial there on the outside part of it, you know, kind of where the bezel would be, or right into the bezel area. And then so that little purple hand you see there right near the 12, that kind of like lilac color. They actually call, I think, the whole dial lilac, but it's a real light lilac. The arrowhead, as you can see there for the hand, there that's right there at the 31. So that's telling you right now it's whatever month it is, and then it's the 31st of the month. So it switches over days. So instead of the display window with a date, it's around the outside of the hand, and that's just kind of like a real cool, I think, old school feel to it. Here we saw the lilac. Let's go take a look at the blue. And the blue model, it looks like the other blue, the pointer date, but it's a little more metallic in it. It's not as how can I say it? It doesn't have as much of a gradient in it. This one's more of like a bright metallic gradient instead of like that lighter blue to slightly darker blue between the two pointer dates. And um, turquoise blue. So this one's officially called a turquoise blue dial, and you can see that H-link band I'm talking about there. I mean, the band is really, really sharp. I do enjoy the band a lot. So you see, you take it, the clasp there, you push buttons, and then you got that little part that kind of opens up on the back there, so like a butterfly clasp on that. And then, you know, close back into place. Of course, with the tag there, it's not working as well. But you can see how it is really, really reflective. The parts in between the H links, the little parts of the link. Um, so they do this kind of play with the super high polish and the super satin finish, and it's such a high polish that sometimes you'll see it in the video. It looks, like maybe a little dirty, or like it's got like scratches on it, but no, it's just super shiny. So anytime you you breathe on it, basically it'll leave a little mark on it. So that's why I still have some of the plastic on here, so you can kind of see it a little bit better. And then so we had the lilac, and then this one, the turquoise blue, and then again here you can see that little light blue hand. Again, it's not a GMT hand, which is, if you see a watch like that, you would think it's a GMT. Um, it is actually, the date again. So that's why it goes all the way up to 31. And again, this is an old kind of design from 1938. And, it was an iconic design. That's why they call it the Big Crown Pointer Date, because it's literally pointing to the date. And Oris, of course, is a Swiss company, and Swiss made, and it's in Holstein, Switzerland. And Oris is actually named after the river, the Oris River that goes through that town. So, little quick history on Oris there for you. And then again, this one is not, Oris has been kind of leaning a little bit smaller in a lot of the models, and I think a lot of watch companies are making, smaller sizes, because I think a lot of people have gotten tired of the super large millimeters, anything over like 44 millimeters. I've had a lot of people complaining about 42 even now, but it just kind of depends on the watch, how it feels, how it fits when you have it on. This one is reference number 017547798 4065 078 2006. Yes, I know Oris likes to have those long numbers for their model numbers. But that's the one for the blue here. And again, 40 millimeters, of course, sapphire crystal on the case. And then the lilac one is 017547798 4068 078 2006. Yes, it's a mouthful with it, but I like it. I like, they've changed it up a little bit, especially with the band. I don't know if they have any models. I don't think they have any models with any of the rubber bands or anything. I think they have one like a leather with it, but I kind of like the metal bands. I don't know why I'd get anything else on these. The metal band kind of gives it that more modern feel to it, if you understand what I'm saying here. With it, here's both of the watches side by side. The blue and what they call the lilac, but to me it's very purple. And it's kind of cool to have. I like that Oris is being daring with the different dial colors. There's so many blacks, there's so many blues. To have this purple and this kind of turquoise blue. I know turquoise, or like a light blue, has been kind of in fashion lately, but the purple and the yellow are really unusual for a watch, and it kind of gives you that pop. I remember about 10 years ago I was wondering why we don't see more purple or lilac color watches. We had pinks starting to bleed in, but you still didn't have a lot of purple, so I'm kind of glad Oris is showing us some purple dials, or lilac dials according to them. Oris was founded in Holstein, like I said. It is founded in 1904, so there's about 121 years old now. So, and they've always, they had the quartz crisis, and they've always stayed automatic. Other watch brands, bigger Swiss brands, did flirt with, quartz a lot, but Oris, stuck to their guns. And, Oris is a smaller watch company, but they really have a real independent streak. And here you can see it on my wrist. It's 40 millimeters. It does feel small. I do tend to wear a lot of dive watches and go over a lot of dive watches, but it doesn't feel too small, if you know what I mean. It doesn't really feel like a dress watch. So if you want something a little beefier than your standard dress watch, and then if you want something that's kind of unusual that'll get people's attention, I love, the pointer date, because people, oh, what's that? That's a cool looking dial. So it does start a lot of conversations, and you can see it's nice and slim on there. Those of you like to change the bands, you want to throw a NATO on here, one of the straps, or put a leather on there. It's 20 millimeters for your strap on that guy. And we're gonna go take it in the dark, both of them, so you can see the lume on it, and it's gonna be kind of cool. I like seeing it sounds silly, but I like seeing the numbers loomed up. It's different than the dots that you see all the time, or the squares, so easily you can see it in the middle of the night. Oh man, hey, it's 125 right now, or 142, like these two watches are telling me right now. Again, like some of the other ones I do, they do look better in person when it comes to the glow. It's brighter, but these are still great. I love it. I'm glad they just didn't put like little dots. They tend to do that a lot with some of the dressier styles, or not put any lume on it at all. But it's kind of like an in-between watch to me. A little bit sportier. This is part of their aviation series, the Big Crown. The Big Crown is designed for the pilots to be able to set the watch easier, with their gloves on and stuff. I'd like to take this time to thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.